started and we'll get our official kickoff. So, welcome to my online workshop. Yay, 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 yay. So, I have been trying to do this monthly, if at all possible, and I barely squeezed it in for this month, right? Tomorrow's the last day, isn't it? Yes, but I got it in. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Wendy Lee, and you can find me at CreativeLeeYours.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So, as I'm working through our projects today, the project products that I'm going to be using are all Stampin' Up! Related. So, I will try to make sure those of you that may not be as familiar with Stampin' Up! I'll try to make sure I don't always go too deep into our Stampin' Up! Lingo because we have some definite acronyms that we use, don't we, as crafters? I think all over everybody has that. But anyway, so we are here for our beautiful Motifs online workshop, and it's about 11:38 this morning Eastern time. And I just love, as I said, I love that we have amazing crafters tuning in from all over and that we get to create together and connect no matter where we live because it's just super cool. So today, our what we're doing is sharing our love and joy of paper crafting, right? We're going to relax, we're going to have some fun. And yes, it is scientifically proven to release natural endorphins. So there's a big win there as well. And for me, the best part is we get to spend that joy with, or get to spread that joy with others just by sending hand stamped cards out, right? So today we're going to create three beautiful cards. I'll show you those in just a moment. For those that don't know me, I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for about a little over 22 years. I've been doing this full time since November of 2019, which is not a common thing. I think I'm in a small percentage there. I am married to a wonderful and very supportive man, and I have two amazing grown children and two of the most adorable granddaughters I could ever have. I love what I do, especially when I'm able to share it with you, right? So how do I serve my crafting community? I do everything from online workshops like this to card clubs, private parties, in-person gatherings. I've got all kinds of stuff going on, and I'll talk about some of that as we go. When I do host an in-person event, I usually bring the supplies, teach the techniques. The host would keep the samples I make. It's simple, it's fun, we have a good time. When we're virtual, like today, I love that we can still connect and create together, right? I didn't give you anything, at least yet, but we're here connecting, right? So what you'll need for today. So you've got links in the group. I think I posted the links to the catalogs. I will double check afterwards, but you can also find them if you go to my website, creativeleeyours.com. There is a tab at the top for current catalogs, and you can see our current releases. So it'll have the new annual catalog that just released this month. The we don't have a mini catalog right now. And then we've got a scrapbooking brochure, all kinds of fun stuff. That is where you'll want to check it out. But I've got to tell you, Stampin' Up! Has changed things around, right? So catalogs aren't as well, okay. I love the catalog, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I love having the catalog. I love snuggling up with my catalog. My catalog gets all bent and written in and all kinds of stuff. But Stampin' Up's really been changing things to not include everything we offer inside our catalog. A lot of it's in the online store only, and there are some amazing things in the online store. So I'm working my way of trying to shop that way, and I hope that you'll explore that as well because that's where you're going to see the full offering, right? You might want to keep your catalogs nearby with you, a sticky note, maybe a notepad handy in case something catches your eye. Of course, use what's in your crafty stash when you recreate these projects. I want to see what you're doing with them, right? Um, so I do have an order special for this event. And I have one for the US as well as my international friends because I don't want to leave anybody out. And as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I can only sell Stampin' Up! Products in the US, right? So I don't want to leave my international friends out either because I love you as well. So for my US customers, when you place a $35 or order greater, um, and I started that yesterday on through Monday. So those of you that have already placed orders, thank you so much. I'm a little behind. You'll thank you emails with your tutorial if you qualified for it. Will go out after this workshop. I'm going to work on that next. Tutorial's ready to go. So, but you will get, if your order is 35 or greater, you're going to get a thank you card in the mail with me and the PDF tutorial for the projects we're making today. If your order is, if your purchase total is before shipping and tax is $50 or greater, you're also going to get the cut kits for today's projects. Now, I do want to make sure I clarify the Pretty Florals die cuts will not be pre-die cut for you. You'll get the paper, and that way you can use what you've got in your crafty stash, customize it, change it up to be what you want to do, because there's lots of options. And you'll also get the May Beautiful Gallery All-Star Video Class Tutorial Bundle as my gift as well. So it's awesome. And we've got a new updated reward system. So I've changed things up a little bit if you've been with me in the past and you're coming back to see me. Stampin' Up's changed the rewards program. So now you get rewards, which is amazing. I love it. Goes straight to you once your orders reach $20 and up, right? So you get 10% back. It's awesome. You can stock up on those and make a big order to get lots of freebie goodies, or you can use a little as you earn those, right? No host codes are needed. So simplified. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, for my international customers, I don't want you to miss the fun. So when you spend $35 in my tutorial store, you're going to get today's PDF tutorial for free. When your order reaches $50 or greater, you're also going to get the All-Star Video Class tutorial for free as well. And again, that offer is valid through June 2nd, which is Monday. When you place an order with me, if you need a printed copy, hard copy of that catalog mailed to you, let me know. I'm happy to send you one. Okay? All right. Project time. Yay! Let's get to the fun part. Crafting, right? I'm going to walk you through each project using the beautiful Motifs stamp set and the Pretty Florals dies, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm also going to share some information about my Forget Me Not Avid Card Club, my Cultivated Creativity DIY paper crafting subscription program, bingo, in color club, and all kinds of other goodies, right? So there's truly something for every crafter, whether you're a beginner or looking to take things to the next level. So, all right, should we switch the camera over? Let's do. And then hopefully I'll be able to see all the comments. Oh, and my camera's going to start off right away doing crazy things. So, if you are new to me, you may not know that this happens, and I still haven't been able to get it to work out. Let's see if I can get it to reset. There it goes. It does not like me for whatever reason. I go through Zoom when I stream, and it likes to wander, right? And I'm working with them. I'm not getting any resolution. I'm going to explore some other things as well. But anyway, we'll see what we can do, and hopefully this won't make us all crazy. All right, so what are we doing? So earlier this week, on Tuesdays, I do a live paper crafting, a video premiere every Tuesday, and I teach a project. So this was this week's project. And so it's using a lot of the same supplies that we're doing on our projects today. So it's a basic beige card base, and then we've pulled in our in colors, our new 2025, 2027 in colors. And I love them, right? So you're going to see a theme through each of these projects. So this is an additional project that would coordinate with what we're creating today. So it's just kind of fun. And of course, we are bringing our designs to the inside. So today's projects, what we're going to create three. So I've got this one here, this one, and this one. Okay, so we're going to create those together. And then I've got two more in the series. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to give those away. So these projects that I'm showing you today, three of them are my Diemonds team, so my demonstrator team. It's their make and takes for this month. So they've got a fourth card that includes into that, and they have the option to participate in make and take, so they don't have to, right? It's entirely up to them. And then I'm also using these projects for my In Color Club members. So those that are joining me for my In Color Club this year, you get one color family each month when you are a subscriber to that. It runs for 5 months. And you'll get a card in the mail from me. And these are 3 of those 5 choices there. So all good stuff. All right, so what are we doing? So first, we're going to be focusing in on these Pretty Florals dies. I love, love, love these. And you can use any floral dies you have, right? You don't have to have these particular ones, although I love them. There is a coordinating stamp set that goes with this. And of course, this is part of a larger suite that actually has 2 bundles in it. So it's kind of a mega suite. there's designer paper, all kinds of coordinating things. But one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is that, oh, I just realized I didn't turn on my mic. Let's turn that on. That might help. One of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is that we can mix and match. We don't have to stay in the suite. The suite makes it easy for us, which I love. But you can mix and match things from all of our product lines here. So I'm not using the stamp set today, but I wanted you to know that it is available in a bundle because it does save you some money. Then I'm bringing in the beautiful Motifs stamp set. So we used, I'm using this for my bingo event, but this is also another suite that is in the catalog, and it is another mega suite because there are 2 stamp and die bundles with it. So this also comes in a bundle, and these dies are fun because some of them partial die cut and some of them die cut all the way out. So I love these. So for bingo, I'm actually using this bundle and the coordinating designer paper. But for today, we're just pulling out the stamp set. Nice. And then I've pulled in, no one has control of the zooming in and out. That's the issue. So this is an issue I've got with Zoom and the center stage functionality in it. If I turn it off, my desktop is bowed. If I leave it on, it decides where it wants to view. So it is a problem. I know it is a problem. I will do my best to not have it happen, but I can't control it. And so far, Zoom has not been able to give me a solution to fix it so it doesn't do that. So still a work in progress. So hopefully it doesn't make you guys too nauseous. So yes, I do. Yes, my eye is very bruised. The swelling has gone down a lot, but that was from my lovely insect encounter that I had this past weekend. So at least I can see now. If you saw a picture of me earlier this week, you would have been like, oh girl, it's bad. So, all right, so we are bringing in the everyday arches as well. These are currently out of stock, but are sure to come back in the coming weeks. So, all right, so that's the main things that we're going to be using today. So let me pull that aside. Now, I also talked about using our new in colors. So we have, and I love this designer paper. Let's see if we can get this to come back out. There we go. So we have 5 new in colors. We have the Darling Duckling, which is this lovely yellow. And this is our paper stack, designer paper stack. We've got Timid Tiger, the prints there. Secret Sea, see the prints there. Cloud Cover, and Strawberry Slush. Now, Strawberry Slush is a returning in color. So I do have an option for my in color club members to substitute out Strawberry Slush, because you might already have that one, right? So I wanted to give the flexibility there. But I really love the prints this year, right? Like these kind of watercolory textured, I love, love, love. And then we've got some great florals. It's just, they're so pretty and super versatile to use. All right, let's get started with our first project. So we've got this one here. So I will be telling you measurements as we go along. If you want the tutorial for this, though, you get it with the order special. So that would require a minimum $35 purchase, either product purchase or tutorial purchase from me to get the tutorials. But I will say the measurements, so you don't really need them, right? It's up to you. I like to have them as well. Okay, just looking to make sure I can see some comments here. So let's get started here. We're going to start with our daffodil. I keep calling it daffodil. It's Darling Duckling. Darling Duckling. I know, I'm crazy. So the first thing I've got my layer I'm going to put on the front. It's basic beige. It's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I've already heat embossed. Oh my gosh, Wendy. Dry embossed with the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. And it creates this really nice texture, corrugated texture. Now, if you've got our old crimper or something like that, you can use that as well. You don't have to switch to this embossing folder, or you can use any embossing folder. I'm going to show you several, and you just pick something in your stash, or if this is one that you love, you add it to your order, right? Now, this one is in our online exclusive, so you're not going to see it in our catalog. You'll only see it in the online store. So I want you to be aware of that. And then I'm going to bring in my card base. So this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 basic beige. And we're just going to fold this bad boy in half. Hopefully I have all my supplies nearby, and I give that a crease with our bone folder. Nice. So this is easy peasy. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Now I like to use my Stampin' Seal, which is a double-sided tape runner. That is my adhesive of choice. Let's see if we can get that to reset again. Since it decided to zoom up. It sees my iPad and the movement in the iPad. And unfortunately, will sometimes zoom up there. Let's see if I can help it not do that. All right, so that is our front layer. So easy, so easy. So next. All right, so now we've got our everyday arches, and I have cut out the arch right there. So that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smallest. Okay, so we're going to use that on our card front here. And I'm going to bring in about 10 inches of my Darling Duckling ribbon. Okay, and let's go ahead and see if we can get that to, there we go. Okay, looks like it's going back out. It's extra moody today. All right, so I'm just going to tie this in a knot around my layer. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I need an extra finger. So I'm going to get that part done. I'm going to bring in my tweezers. Come on. I'm going to see if I can angle this camera just a smidge so it doesn't keep wanting to go up to the iPad. Maybe I can bring it down just a little bit. Okay, maybe that will help. All right, so I'm using my tweezers to hold that tight for me because I need another finger, right? And then I'm just going to tie this into a knot if my fingers work. I've got a little arthritis going on. Take that tweezer out. And there we go. And then I can slide this where I want my knot to be. I can slide it up if I need to because it's down a little lower than I want. And then I've got my lovely little ribbon on here, right? Get my scissors. And we'll go ahead and trim off the end here. Now these are reverse tweezers. So they are the kind that are closed when you're not squeezing them, but when you squeeze them, it opens. So we do have reverse tweezers in our Embossing Editions toolkit. We do not sell it individually. So just want to make sure I tell you guys that. But you can get them on, you know, Amazon or other places if you need a reverse tweezer and you don't want the whole Embossing Editions toolkit. Although the Embossing Editions toolkit has all kinds of great things in it and is very helpful. All right, come on. This is going to put me over the edge. All right, we're using dimensionals. And we are going to adhere this lovely piece right to the card front. Now, you could do this flat. You could do this with Stampin' Seal. It looks like I dimensioned the original as well. But you could do it with Stampin' Seal or liquid glue if you prefer not to have the extra height. It's entirely up to you. So there is our lovely focal point. Now let's decorate it. So I have already done some die cutting. So I've got a piece of Secret Sea and I die cut all my little stems already out of that. So you can see those there. I have to find where did I put those die cut stems though, because I'm not seeing them. Surely I didn't lose them already. I got some stuck to things. All right, I think I found them. All right, so I'm going to bring in my stems. Now you could put adhesive sheet on the back of these before you use them, or you can use liquid glue. Now I've got some parts and pieces that I've already put liquid glue. Maybe you can see they're shiny on the back. I've already put liquid glue on them. I'm using our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, this green glue here. This dries clear, however, it's tacky. So even though these are dry, they're sticky. So this makes it super easy for me to come in here and just lay these elements down, and I don't have the glue ooze. Again, you could use adhesive sheets on the back if you'd prefer, which also works wonderfully. But that's kind of nice to be able to just stick that down. Those are good to go. And I've got a third one because I'm going to bring my design to the inside as well. So I'm just going to set that over here and hopefully it doesn't end up sticking to my arm or who knows where else, right? All right, so have you guys done that? Put the glue on and let it dry and then place it. It's just a great way to go about it, I think. All right, I am going to bring in a scrap piece of paper if I can find one here. Let's slide this over. Hopefully the camera doesn't do crazy things. And then I've die cut these petals with my Pretty Florals dies. So that is this one right here, cuts out all 3 of those. Okay. And I'm going to bring in a blending brush. You could use a dauber, you could use a sponge, whatever you want to do. And I am using the Darling Duckling ink. And I'm just going to pick up a little ink with my blending brush. And I just want to put a hint of color at the bottom, right? Just to give it a little bit of depth. And so I'm just going to just do a little, just add a touch, right? Nothing major, but it just adds a little bit of a bloom to the bottom of it. So I'm going to do that on all 3 of them. And you can go as deep or as light as you want. It's entirely up to you. And when you use your blending brush, if you start off of the cardstock and work your way in, you won't get as much, you know, like harsh lines. It'll blend a little bit nicer. Although sometimes I like it both ways. I'll do a little bit more depth on the bottom of this one. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a bloom of color there. Add some dimension to our lovely flowers. And I put my knuckle right into the ink pad. Gotta love that, right? When that happens. All right, and we're ready to adhere these down. So I'm going to just choose 2. It doesn't really matter which 2. And I am going to pop these up with dimensionals. No, and there it goes. You can see I have a purple shirt on because it wants to show you my belly for some reason. Looks like it's straightened itself back out. So I'm going to choose to put these 2 on the front. So I'm so glad you guys are able to join me today. I know this is not convenient for everyone to have the middle of the day to, good, and your time zone might be better, but I know I'm in the middle of the day on a Friday when a lot of people are working. So I know that this may not be convenient for everybody, but you can watch the replay if you can't join me live. And I love that some of you can join me live. It's fun, right? All right, so we've got our flowers on there. Let's add a sentiment. So I've just got a 1/2 inch strip, a little scrap of paper. I'm going to bring in my Secret C. We're going to do all of our sentiments in Secret C today. And I'm just going to stamp just a note right on my little 1/2 inch strip. Great way to use all those little pieces of paper, right? I don't know about you, but I end up with a ton of little 1/2 inch strips, 3/4 inch strips. So this is a great way to use up some of those scraps. And then I'm just going to angle cut this to make it the length I want it to be. There's no right or wrong. Do it however you want to do it. And then I want to pop it right up on the front of my card. Oh my gosh, the zooming is making me crazy. I can't figure it out. I just don't know why. Maybe if I lower the camera a little bit. Let me try that. Maybe it's just got a little too much movement going on that it can see. Oh, good. You like the inking at the bottom? I'm glad. I like it too. It just adds a small touch. It's those little things, right, that make our lives, or our projects, not our lives necessarily, but our projects, that extra special. All right. So I'm going to just add my little sentiment right on there. Cute, 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 cute. And then I need my embellishment. I didn't grab my embellishments. Oh no. We have to run across the room. I have them, yay. I knew I would forget something. I had it all worked out and then I forgot. Okay, so we're going to bring in our embellishments. And I've been through several packs of these. So these are the new in color pearls. You can get them in both the 25-27 as well as the 24-26 color collections. And they're nice and flat, like a low profile. And there's 3 different sizes on here, or 3 different sizes. Yes, 3 different sizes on here. I love them. I've been through multiple packs already. So anyway, you can see I've used all of these small ones already. So there are no little ones left in my Darling Duckling. So I used them. Let's see, let's put a big one. We'll put a medium one, right? And then we'll put another medium one because I didn't leave a ton extra on there. But how cute, right? I love it. Love, 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 love. Okay, now we always want to bring our design to the inside, even if it's something super, super simple, right? So I've got a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 basic white, nothing crazy. And I'm going to take my extra die cuts I've got left, my little leaf here. The small ones are your favorite? Yeah, I would agree. I like the small ones as well. But sometimes the big ones really work well. Yeah. But I do like the low profile. It's really nice to have a low profile. So I'm gonna do a little liquid glue. Now you guys know me. If you know me, you know I'm not a huge liquid glue fan, but there are times that liquid glue is the right glue. So I will use it, but it makes me crazy. I don't like being sticky, and I'm always getting sticky, right? All right. So let's go ahead and add this to the inside. Ah, I set it down. That was silly. Not my smartest moment there, was it? You guys do that stuff too. That's why I don't cut that stuff out of the video. You gotta see all the mistakes that happen. I do it all the time. And I've been crafting for a very, very long time. All right, project one. Now you can create these in any color combination, right? Switch up the Darling Duckling to Tinted Tiger cloud cover, Strawberry Slush, or any other favorite color you have. It doesn't have to be an in color. I'm just highlighting in colors today. So project one, done. All right, project two. Now this one has got a lot going on it. So this is more stepped up. And then we'll tone back again for the next one. But this one, I just love it. It's got more pieces to it. This might be something that might be more for someone a little more special because you've got your extra layers, although it's not hard, right? It's not difficult. So I think that you will enjoy this one as well. And of course, we're bringing our design to the inside. Yay. All right, so this is cloud cover is what we're doing this time. So let me grab my little packet. Okay, and let's move our sentiments so that we don't accidentally stamp the wrong one. Okay, so I am starting off this one with the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. So this is the folder that I used on the card that I showed on Tuesday in our paper crafting. This is another online exclusive, and it's beautiful. Isn't that awesome? It's not a 3D folder, but it gives you such great texture, I think. So it's a fun one. So again, I'm going to put this on a standard 5.5 by 8.5 card base, basic beige. We're doing them all the same. This would make a great class if you're a demonstrator and you teach classes, or if you just want to get together with your crafty friends. That's always good too. And then I've got two arches that I've die cut. So let me bring back in the arches. So you can see I've got this one here. Okay. And I've got this one here. Nice. Okay. And we're going to layer those. We're going to double it up. We're going rogue. All right. So I'm going to take the larger one and we're going to go ahead and put this down on this layer. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. You could use liquid glue as well. Either works. I'm hoping that this camera is going to settle down. Now, I am looking, and you do this how you want, I'm looking at these three sides to get something somewhat even. May not be perfectly straight. It is handmade, you know, and that's okay. Then I'm going to bring in a piece of cloud cover ribbon. It is about 6.5 inches. You adjust based off what you need to do. All right, come on, camera. All right. It's settling down, I hope. There's a delay, so by the time I see it, it's already happened and moved on to something else. So I'm just going to put a little Stampin' Seal on the back, and I'm going to fold these ends to the back, just kind of tack them in place. I say I'm going to tack them in place, but I didn't get good adhesive there, so let's try that again. There we go. And I know somebody told me last workshop that my glass mat may be causing some of this havoc on the camera because it, you know, the reflection on the grid may be causing some issues with it. So still working on that. All right, so now that I've got this down, I'm going to place this right on my card base, and I'm doing it flat. You could pop it up, but I found that with this particular embossing folder, that it, because it's got such large coverage, it kind of weakens your paper a little bit, right? So it's not as sturdy. So I feel like if I were going to pop this up, I'd need to add another layer behind it because it's just made that cardstock super soft and pliable. And well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not as sturdy when you're trying to pop it up. Okay. All right. let's bring in, and we're going to bring in this one, and we're going to stamp our sentiment right on this layer here. So let me slide this down. Hopefully it doesn't take it to my belly. Are you guys liking this? I hope. All right, so this one I'm going to do I'm Here For You Always. Let's see if we can get it straight-ish. Nice. Again, all of our stamping we're doing in Secret C. And then now I want to add this right over the top of this layer here. Okay, camera, zoom back out. It wanted you to see the finished project so that you could see how spectacular it is, right? Maybe? I have no idea why it does what it does. It's crazy. And why it's not moving. Come on, come back over. It wants to be over there. Come back over here. Come on. Maybe it needs to see me. There we go. It's coming back in. All right. We will get the dimensionals off the back. Yes, Debbie, I agree. You can do so much with these products. And again, you know, they are available in a suite with everything coordinating. Makes it super easy for you. But I've chosen to go rogue and mix and match things that I like, right? You can do anything. It's your choice, which I love. Okay, so I did not already put adhesive on these. So I'm going to show you that. So let's bring in my little silicone craft sheet. And I'll move those others that I have adhesive on. Why I didn't put adhesive on these already, I don't know. But I didn't. So what I did was I take my liquid glue and I'm just going to put some liquid glue on the back. Again, you could use your adhesive sheets, which we'll talk about in a minute because I am going to show that, because if you haven't used those yet, they are so awesome. So awesome. So I'm only putting adhesive on the bottom part of those. And this is why I didn't use adhesive sheets on this particular element, because I'm going to have them hanging off the edge. And I didn't want that to be sticky. Now that one I'm putting on the inside, so I want it a little stickier. So while that dries, let's move this out of the way so it doesn't stick to my arm, because I will put my arm in it. I'm terrible about that. And then let's talk about the flower itself, this cloud cover flower. So I did the detail die cut, which is this one here, out of the cloud cover cardstock. Because this is so fine, I wanted to make sure I used adhesive sheet on the back. So if you've never used adhesive sheets, they come in a 12x6 length, and there's 12 sheets in a pack. They're awesome. I've cut a little piece off of my adhesive sheet, and I am just going to apply it to the back of my cardstock. You can do this on regular paper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be on cardstock, but just apply it to the back. Okay. I like to rub it with my bone folder to make sure I have a really good adhesion. And then you're going to take this and run this through your die cutting machine and die cut this. Now, when you add adhesive sheet, you might need to shim or run it through twice. I've shared before putting a bubble mailer under there, which kind of gives it some cushion and will help cut through these intricate dies if you need. So that may help when you're dealing with detailed dies that you're adding the adhesive sheet. So you'll run that through. I cut that out. Then I decided let's add some variation by cutting the floral base out of the designer series paper. So I can create a fun texture with that. So on any of these flowers that we're doing, you could mix and match between the designer series paper or cardstocks or however you want to go about it, right? So we're going to do this. Yes, I agree. This would make a great box set to gift to someone, right? Like teachers, if you need, you know, we're at the end of the school year here, at least. I'm not sure everywhere, but, you know, thank you cards to teachers. They can always use those, or all occasion cards. Just giving them a little something is always nice. Let's see, what did you say about the zooming? Yes, you can use wax paper for it to come out easier. Yes, that's not going to help it cut through, but that is going to help it release out of the design. Shutting these features off for your next video, see if that helps. Shell, I'll try that. That's a good suggestion. That is not something that Zoom has suggested I try, but I will definitely look at it. It's to a point now where it's so annoying It's just so annoying. It makes me crazy. You know what? Before I put these floral images down, let's do that bow, because I'm going to slide that in first. So I've got a piece of ribbon that is about 12 inches, right? A lot of times I'll leave mine on the spool and then tie it and then clip off what I need. But for today, I just decided to cut it off. So it's about 12 inches. So I did my bunny loops. One goes around and through the hole. Now, this ribbon is stiff and it's not as easy to tie, but it makes some really nice bows when you get it where you need it. So you can see 12 inches was maybe a little bit long for what I need, but that's okay. So once I have my bow, happy with it there, then I can go ahead and adhere this right there. So I'm going to put that down with a mini glue dot, or AKA boogers. That's what I call them. I know it's gross. That's what I do. All right, let's take that and we'll grab a glue dot. Let's grab two. Why not? Grab two glue dots so we can get this knot down really well. So yeah. So yeah, Shell, I'll have to think about that and try that autofocus thing. It's funny because I don't have this issue in any other format except for Zoom. Zoom is the only one that gives me trouble. And it seems to be related to their center stage functionality and how it interacts with the continuity camera that is part of the iPhone. All right, so I put those down, and let's double check before we give it a hard push. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that placement. So we're going to give that a little push down. So we've got our little leafy elements, and then now I want to pop up my flower with some dimensionals. Yes. Yes. I am also, I didn't have time. I was hoping to do it this morning, but I really wanted to get the tutorial done since several people had already placed orders and I hadn't sent that out yet. I worked on that instead this morning. But I wanted to try, I've got another program that somebody has recommended I try. Let's see. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have my dimensional sticking where I didn't want my dimensional. It's a beautiful card. I agree. And it would be awesome in any color, right? Any occasion. That's what I love about these. These can be birthday cards. These can be wedding cards. You name it. We can use it. So let's sprinkle on a couple of our cloud cover gems here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's bring our design to the inside. So we're going to do that here. So I've got another piece of 5 1/4 by 4 basic weight cardstock. Now this designer paper strip, when I created the card, it's 3/4 by 4 inches, which is what it says in the tutorial. Hopefully it'll straighten up the camera here in a minute. But I wanted to show you, I had a scrap that was a little short in my designer paper. I'm going to use that, right? It's okay if it doesn't go the full height, right? This is a great way to use all those little pieces. And of course you can use either side because the floral side would be amazing as well. It doesn't have to be 3/4 of an inch wide. It can be a 1/2 inch. It could be an inch. It could be whatever you've got in your scraps. This is a great way to use all those little bits that you never know what to do with because you're like, oh, 6 by 6 paper can be challenging, but it can also be exciting because you have these opportunities to use these little pieces and not waste. And now I just put in my little foliage image there, and we're going to add this to the inside of our card. Now, I chose not to stamp sentiments on the inside because I wanted to be able to leave these open when I'm ready to use them. You know, I'm here for you always. I could use that for so many different occasions, right? What do you think? Do you love it? I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And you see this one, I got a little more straight, where this one I had cocked it a little differently, but I had to do that because I put my dimensional too far to the bottom and it was over the knot of my ribbon. So we adjust as we go, right? It's paper crafting. All right, last but not least, we've got one more fabulous project to do, and it's this one here. So let me grab that packet. I hope these are inspiring you to get out some items in your crafty stash and make some projects today. I hope. All right, for this one, we are starting off with our embossed layer. So here again, our 4 by 5¼ layer, basic beige. And I've pulled in the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. So these come in a pair together. This is the glass, this is the garden. And I've just run this along the bottom to give some texture here. It looks like I got a little debris on there, but you know what? That's not even going to matter because I'm going to put an arch right over the top, so we'll never even see it. These are also only in our online store. So you're not going to see these in the catalog. So this is actually part of the Cheers and Sips product suite, which I love. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. One of my faves for sure. Okay, so we've got this layer here. Now, I've also cut out an arch. Come back here. I'll cut out an arch right there out of basic weight, and we're going to put this down on our layer. Let's grab our Stampin' Seal. Oh, good. I'm glad that you're loving them. Yay! Yay! Yeah, I can't wait to send these out to my In Color Club members. They get one a month in a different color. So I'll make all of these in all the different colors so that I can send them out. All right. So I've got that done. Now I want to take a piece of my Timid Tiger ribbon. It's about 6 inches or so. Whatever you need to be able to wrap it, right? That's the important part. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back and tack that end in place. Adhesive there and tack that one in place. So I've got my layer. Just make sure I'm straight-ish, right? I say ish because sometimes it looks like I'm straight and sometimes I'm not. You're improving using your stash. That's awesome. You know, it is not always easy, especially when we're new to crafting, to see a project and make it with other things, right? It's hard, right? Because you see it and you were attracted to that project for a reason. And then you're like, well, mine doesn't look the same, but that's just fine. It's just fine. And I think it's fun to see what kind of fun things you can come up with when you take a layout, you know, and make it in other things. All right. So this was, again, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half, or my measurements will be listed as 8.5 by 5.5 because it's oriented that way. Okay. Put it down. And then I'm going to put this down flat, just right on that card front, like we've done all the others. They're kind of the same card, are they? No, not really. I like to say that. Very similar. They're definitely coordinating. All right, get that down. I did put a little extra adhesive on the edges where the embossing was, just to kind of give that a nice, good tucking in. Okay. Now, we're going to add some more two-tone color in here. So bringing back in. Now, I already put some adhesive on the bottom of this. So I've got my, goodness gracious, they stuck together. This is what happens to me all the time. So I've got my stem. I'm just going to kind of tack that on my silicone craft sheet. And then I've got these little details here. I'll pull out that die and show you what that is. And then I've also got my die cut flowers, same as we used on the first card. But we're going to change it up just a bit, right? Because there's lots of ways to use all these different elements. So these little pieces came from this die here, and it's going to cut all 3 at once, okay? Now, I want to do like I did on the first one and add a little color because I'm going to layer these on top of each other. So I'm going to take Timid Tiger, and you can either press the ink pad right on it, or you can pull in a blending brush or a dauber or whatever you want. I've got adhesive on these, so hopefully they're going to stick right down to my silicone craft sheet while I add this amazing color. And I'm going dark. Look at that. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. Love, 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 love. I love it. All right. So now I can just adhere these to the bottom of these flowers. So let's pick and choose. That looks good. I'm going to go there. There's probably an alignment that's supposed to be for which ones these go on, but I do not know. I just put them where I want to put them. Good morning. All right, so there's my flowers. Oh, so pretty, and it makes such a big impact, adding that extra little pop of color on there. We could have mixed and matched the designer paper if we wanted to. That would have been nice as well. What surface are the flowers on? Oh, this right here, this is my silicone craft sheet. So this is amazing. If you don't have a silicone craft sheet, I highly recommend. It's not an expensive item, and I use it all the time. So adhesive won't stick to this. So as you could see, I can stick things down and just peel it right off, which is great. And I use this for so many other things as well, but it is great when you're dealing with adhesives as my first use. So just putting that out there in case you're curious about it. All right, so let's go ahead and build our little flowers. So I'm going to take my die cut floral here. I'm going to kind of push it up a little. Well, hopefully our placement's going to work out with our banner. And then I'm going to tuck these flowers in. So let's see. Let's do this one. Now I'm going to try to lift, and I shouldn't have pushed that down all the way. I'm going to try to lift those ends up. This right here. Taking my take your pick to help me out. I'm going to put that flower down there. I'm not going to push hard just yet because I may need to adjust a little bit. I have my nail. I've destroyed my nails this week as well. I've had a week. I've had quite the week between the attack of the bug and my swollen face and not being able to see. I can't drive. I can now. I think I can drive today, but probably won't if I don't need to. All right, so I'm tucking those all in. Now I want that one on top. All right, let's see if we can pull that one out. Put that one there. And can I tuck this one under? I think I like it better that way. And then I can angle this one out a little bit more. How about that? I like that better. What do you guys think? Good? So you can mess with it and play with it until you're happy with your placement there. All right, so now I've got a banner. I've used my mixed labels dies, and I've pulled out this lovely banner and put this one right there. Love being able to mix and match my dies. Now, I've had a lot of people asking me lately how I store my dies, if I store them with my stamp sets that they go with or by themselves. And I will tell you, for me personally, first, it's a personal decision, right? It depends on how you use your crafty stash, right? For me, I don't want to be limited to just the dies that go with the stamps that I'm using. So I don't do mine that way. I have them in a Stampin' storage. I use Stampin' storage. I get the magnet cards, which you've seen me pull out, right? So my dies are on my magnet cards, and I like theirs. They're more expensive than some. You can get cheaper options, but I like these because they're on a nice cardboard surface. They don't bend. My dies don't fall off. I don't have to put them in anything else. And I've got one of their crates for the dies, and I just stick them in there and I flip through them as I'm looking for what I want, because I want to be able to see all my shapes that I can mix and match. Now, some people have said that they're struggling to know when they have a die that coordinates with a stamp set. So in that case, if that's something that you're struggling with, and but you don't want to store your dies with the stamps necessarily, you could do some sort of a coding, a label on it. Like maybe you put a dot on it, a colored dot that indicates there's a stamp set that matches. And now that Stampin' Up! Has changed, thank goodness, the naming of the dies and stamp. Oh, I have two banners. Lovely. Now that they've changed the name of the way that they do the dies and stamp sets so that they're the same, so much easier to find it, right? So you have to figure out what works best for you. Yeah, I think the silicone craft sheet is also super, my favorite. Now, Jean, I saw you were asking if I put the online workshop tutorials in my tutorial store. I do not. The only way that you can get the tutorials for our online workshop is to take advantage of my order special, either with a product order or a tutorial order. So it requires a minimum purchase, and that's before shipping and tax, with all any rewards taken off. It's the actual purchase amount with me to be able to get to it. Okay, hopefully that answers. If that's not clear, let me know. All right. Now I'm going to go a little crazy on my dots here. I have more dots. Where are they? Because I want some of those larger Timid Tiger ones as well. Like I said, I have been through so many packs of these because I just love them. All right, let's just get sprinkling, right? I'm going to go a little crazy with my dots here. Put a couple there, and then let's do a little trio down here. So they always say, you know, it's good to work in groups of 3. You know, odd numbers, doesn't necessarily have to be 3, but odd numbers. But, you know, I play with that. I take a little design liberty in how I interpret that. So This one has 5 total, but you know, you could add a 6th one if you're thinking this group of 3 and that group of 3. I don't know. It's up to you. So pretty. All right, let's bring our design to the inside. So on this one, I wanted to change it up. I had a bunch of little pieces of designer series paper. And did I grab my paper trimmer? I bet I did not. Did not grab my paper trimmer. I need to go grab that. I'll show you how I did this. So I just had a bunch of these little scraps of paper. So I wanted to bring this to the inside of my design. So I could use the squares as is, or I could cut them in half. And I'm going to grab a trimmer if I can find where I've left it. I even knew I needed it and forgot to grab it. So I'm going to take this and put it in my paper trimmer here. Hopefully I'm in camera. And I'm going to cut this in half diagonally, just to use this little scrap up and add this design to the inside. So when you're cutting on the diagonal, you're going to align your points to the cutting channel of your paper trimmer. But you want to make sure that when you go to cut, you don't cut right into that point because it'll crush the point. So I'm going to start somewhere inside of it. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't have to be perfectly centered. And then I'm going to cut out towards the corners. That way I don't get crushed corners. I get nice pointy corners. So anytime you're cutting on the diagonal, that'll make it a little bit easier for you. All right, let's bring in that silicone craft sheet. You can put this down with Stampin' Seal, or you can put this down with liquid glue. I like to use Stampin' Seal because that's my favorite adhesive. And the great thing about the silicone craft sheet is I can run it all the way out to the point, get adhesive all over it, no glue ooze, and it didn't stick to my silicone craft sheet. Yes. Oh, that's a great idea, Barbara. Did you guys see that? So Barbara said, make a photocopy of your dies. And it's probably best to do before you take them off the little paper that Stampin' Up! Provides that I hate and I immediately remove them from. So does the total price have to be 50 after your Stampin' Rewards? Yes. Yes. So it needs to be the purchase amount. Yes. So so if you were redeeming rewards, your order would need to be higher because it needs to be the 50, it's got to meet the 50 threshold after your rewards are applied, but before shipping and tax. Make sense? Retail value. Not trying to make it complicated, but I don't want anybody to get upset either. All right, perfect. So now I've got that in there. You could add a sentiment if you want to. You could change it up to each of the different papers. You know, here I use that more textured look, where this time I pulled in that leafy one. So fun. All right, so there are our 3 amazing projects, in my opinion, right, that we created today. And again, my In Color Club members will also enjoy 2 additional projects that I'm not showing you today. And my team did enjoy an additional project in this selection as well. So much fun, so much fun. I got so excited about our projects as we were crafting. I didn't even talk to you about the different offerings I have. Let me go ahead and flip the camera back over and we can chat for a moment if you'd like to stay with me. My dogs are coming in to say hello. Crazy, right? Oh, good stuff. Let's see. My cheat notes. My cheat notes. All right. So, yes, let me tell you about some of my offerings. So I do have a Forget Me Not card club. You've probably heard me talk about it before if you've been around with me for a while, and that is my Avid card club. And so this is not fast, easy cards. They're fun folds, they're techniques, but they're, in my opinion, fabulous, right? And we do 4 stepped up projects every month. I do a video tutorial, PDF tutorial with a step-by-step pictorials in it. There is a tutorial option where is available globally, and then there is a product-based option where you place an order and you get access for free. The product option also gets the make and take sent to them in the month. And then there's bonus tutorials that get posted every month. And it is anything in my craft space. I can use anything I want. I mix and match. It's truly an Avid card club. It's a lot of fun, but it is more advanced. Then I have Cultivated Creativity. This is my DIY paper crafting subscription kit, and it is fantastic as well. It's different. The cards are a little simplified. They're not simple, dumb cards. Let's see. Do I have? Let's see. Do I have? I, yes, I have some of them hanging behind me. Just a few. You can't see them really well. I am filming my sneak peek video today to post hopefully this weekend, so you can get a glimpse of that one. But that one is centered around a featured suite, right? Or suite, typically a bundle. We mix and match products across suites. Sometimes we don't. It just depends on what our mood is. But we pull in all kinds of crazy fun stuff. We want you to learn how to use your supplies, and you create five fantabulous projects with the featured stamp set. You don't have to, of course, use the stamp set. You can choose to add it onto your kit, or you can use what you've got in your crafty stash, right? So you have that flexibility to do what you want to do. That one is a full PDF tutorial as well, and I do a video overview, no video demos. But if you ever have questions, I answer all those questions and all that fun stuff. And that is a subscription program, and it ships right to your door. I also have a bingo event happening June 14th. Registration closes tomorrow. I'm almost full. I actually need to look and see because I had some payments come through right before we started this. So hopefully I haven't oversold. But there may be some spots left. This morning I had 7 spaces left for this June bingo, and they're fantastic cards. You're going to love them. They're fast, they're easy, but the best part is getting together. We get together over Zoom, kind of like this, and we're all on screen together. We're playing bingo, and then we craft together for those that want to stay and craft with me. I do record that and send that out to those that can't participate live with us. Well, the make and take part of it, not the bingo part. But so we have a lot of fun there. And then, of course, I've mentioned my In Color Club, so you can sign up for that anytime. And it's a 5 month, one color each month. It's a good way to get all the In Color products. And then I've got some bonus gifts for you in there as well. So all good stuff, right? Um, so don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to support you however I can. I appreciate you guys being part of my crafting community. I hope that you keep creating, sharing, and inspiring each other. I can't wait to see your versions of everything. And I will make sure I go back through the comments in case anybody had any questions that I missed, because it's hard for me to see that with my setup, my current setup. I've got to work on this setup and get it a little bit better for live crafting with all the glitchy stuff I've had going on. So I'll be working on that in the coming months as well. But I hope to see you again. Hopefully we'll have another one in June. My fingers crossed that that's going to work out. I've got a crazy June. I'm traveling and taking a little bit of time with my family and friends to rejuvenate and rewind and relax. So, but still lots of fun things going on. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great, great weekend. I appreciate you joining me live, or if you're watching the replay. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.